Hey everybody, this video is one that's probably a long time coming. I should have got it done quicker, but I've been so busy with stuff on my job, plus getting this place going. By the way, I am on my bug out land all by myself. I'll try to spin it around here and let you see the fire. Burning nice and hot, the way I like it. I want to talk about, a while back I did a video, it was kind of a review on Lloyd Tackett's A Distant Eden, which was a very cool book. As that book ended, if those of you that read it, Roman, who was the hero of the book, he was a prepper whenever the EMP hit. And of course the world went crazy, and the gist of it is that he got his family together. He had taught them, and they always kind of thought he was nuts, but it ended up that he taught them well, even though they thought he was nuts, and they knew what to do. And so the book takes you through the process of the EMP hitting, the world going crazy, and everybody rallying back together, and starting back over. One of the characters in that was a nephew, I believe, of Roman's, which was Adrian, and he had happened to be in the army at the time. And when the whole thing went down, he was one of the many soldiers that had been, let go to go back home. In the process, Adrian ran across some doctors and nurses in a hospital, and they went with him and his group and all got together at where Roman had set up shop. And as the book ends, you realize that they are setting up a new community, and other people around are starting to come by, probably trading, bartering stuff for healthcare, because there was the doctors and the nurses, and one of the female doctors, Adrian, the ex-soldier, fell in love with, and they got married. Thus, the end of A Distant Eden. Well, the sequel to that book is called Adrians War. Now, I had read some book reviews. One of them gave Lloyd a hard time because some of the things that he wrote seemed kind of, he put it like it was hard to believe. And there are a couple things in there that, it's artistic license, but it is very cool when you read through the book. And the way I look at it is, you have chick flicks, you have guy flicks, same with chick books, and you got guy books. Well, this one is definitely a guy book. It's full of action, but I also think that chicks would like it too. Anyways, the premise is, at the beginning of the book, Adrian decides he's going to take off to the mountains, Rocky Mountains, and live as a mountain man. I hate to give parts of the book away, but something happens and his wife dies, so he decides that he doesn't need to stick around now because the community is going well. There's plenty of security there. Roman's got everything taken care of. People are doing just fine. And so he's ready to go out on his own, and he's always wanted to go to the Rocky Mountains. So the book entails his trip to the Rocky Mountains. In this story, he does go through some pretty crazy things, and some crazy things with some bears, and some crazy things with like a band of bandits, or what they were when the EMP hit, they were all prisoners, and somehow they all got out, and they just joined together. And of course there was one leader, and this leader was kind of Adrian's nemesis. And because Adrian realized that there were other communities around, and this group of bandits would pillage their villages. Anyways, Adrian sets off on a war, one man against all these prisoners. And you got to remember, these guys were, they're just prisoners, these you know, rapists, murderers, whatever they were. But Adrian was a trained special forces guy. So Adrian was able to completely confound them for weeks on end, killing them off slowly, and he thinks it's just about done when the nemesis, and I don't want to say the names, I don't want to give too much of the book away, but they end up getting some people from a village and holding them hostage. Adrian goes and finds this village. Now you can remember, Adrian's been living alone. He's been living like a mountain man. He hasn't talked to anybody. He's just been killing bad guys, really, sneaking in and watching them, and sneaking in and setting traps and killing them and stuff like that. He's no longer a very sociable person, but he knows that with the hostages there, he now has to go in and deal with the people in the village where the hostages came from, in hopes to help them out to get their hostages back, because he knows now that this band of bandits are going to put forth a lot of pain and hurt on surrounding villages on account of Adrian. And Adrian doesn't want that. He, you know, during the whole time he just figured it was him against them. But once they finally got smart enough and got some hostages, then it was time for Adrian to do something different. Well, little did he know that and he was afraid that when he'd walk into the village, that these people would be angry with him, because once he told them what was going on, they would be angry with him. And so when he walked into the village, and these people see him coming in, and they're all kind of stepping back and look, kind of surrounding a little bit, and he finally just decides to announce his name, who he was and what he was there for. And the people were actually glad to see him once he did that. And come to find out, he had become quite a legend around the surrounding communities, because he was single-handedly taking on this gang of thieves. He kind of ends up setting up a, well, I'm not going to tell anymore, because it's great. You got to read it. But it keeps you, once you start, it just keeps you pulled in. But he does end up with a nickname. It had something to do with bears, and there's an odd reason why. He revealed to them some pretty nasty scars from fighting a bear. That just kind of solidified his legend. Anyways, the book goes on, and he takes care of the bandits, and finally takes care of his nemesis. And that's just kind of a high level look. I don't want to give too much away, because the book is really cool. Go out and check out Adrians War. Of course, you'll find it on Amazon. I'll probably put links to it and stuff down below. But I really got to apologize to Lloyd, because I should have got this out a long time ago, because it came out a couple months ago. But I've just been so racked with everything that's been going on. I haven't really been able to make the quality of videos as I'd like to make. But now that things are kind of calmed down, and I'm here sitting here by the fire, just thought I'd get this out. And the ambiance is kind of goes with the book too, because here I am out in the woods by myself, by the campfire, and that's kind of how Adrian lived too. Now, of course, he lived, it was set mostly winter time, so there was snow and stuff in the Rockies. You get how cold it gets up there. Now it's not snowing here. It does get cold at night, and it's very, very quiet until, I don't know, I think I got a raccoon or something that goes up and down this spring down here ways, looking for food. And he takes his time, but man, he sure makes a racket going through those leaves. And if you're sitting here quiet and all of a sudden it starts scooting by there in the dark, it can freak you out, because it sounds so heavy-footed. I've got kind of used to it now, so he avoids me and I avoid him. But in the morning, I'm going to do some hunting. and then once it kind of warms up, we start working on the little cabin shed thing I'm building. So maybe we'll get some footage of that too. Alright guys, well this is Subtac. I'm out at Bug Out Land and having a good old time. I'll talk to you later. Bye.